And welcome back to another Pivot Podcast. So glad you guys could all join us. We have a special guest in the house. Really glad to have him here, Mr. Jerremy Alexander Newsome. And once again, we have Dan Jansen co-hosting with me. How are you doing, Dan?
Doing good. I feel like Jeremy had a better intro than I did that you gave him, but he's an absolute legend, so I get it. It makes sense. But yeah, no, awesome to have you back on the show. I know we had you once before, but this week we're kind of the entire month of January we're talking about ways to really set yourself up correctly for the year. Pretty much we had a couple episodes just of what we do, but we had to pick your brain. We had to know what does the Jerremy Newsome do to prepare for 2022.
Dude, you guys are so cool. You're so nice. Thank you, man. Thank you. What do I do to prepare for the year? Any year. I like New Year's resolutions. Some people do, some people don't. It's okay. But I think one of the coolest things to do is write down a quote. So if you're listening, get your pen and paper out. Here is a quote that I live by. It serves me very well. The vast majority of humans will overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. And that means essentially you'll have all of these tasks that you want to get done. You'll think that you have to get them done today, this week, this month. But a year is a very long time. It's 1/20th of a score. And so if you're looking at, if you're contemplating like something you want to achieve and accomplish into your life, let's get some dates on the calendar. Let's start structuring it out. Just start putting it down on the calendar, because once you write it down, your brain knows that you're being serious. Perfect example. Who has a lot planned for June 4th through the 7th, right? Who knows? So if you were like, I want to do something June 4th through the 7th, something majestical, something magical, block it out in your calendar and start thinking, okay, those 3 to 4 days, I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to do something incredible. I'm going to pour into myself, my family. You don't even have to know what it's going to be, but those days are blocked off 100%. You're not doing anything. You already know those days are vacation days. So start time blocking. Start going through your calendar, going, what days are important? What events do I know for sure are going to take priority? And start prioritizing. Just getting things on the calendar now. That's a huge one.
Perfect. Yep. I know we talked about and you kind of alluded to it a little bit as far as like having certain days of basically saying this is a goal, a task, something I want to achieve on this certain time frame. So last couple episodes, me and Tracy were talking, we like to plan out kind of what our bigger picture goal is and then break it down for month, week, day, how to get there. Is that something that you will take a much bigger goal and kind of go backwards step by step to in order to try to come up with some type of plan?
Definitely. So let's, great example is an Ironman. So I've never done an Ironman yet. I've done a lot of preparation for one, but I've never actually started and finished an Ironman. And we have one.
That's where you're running, swimming.
Yep. Yeah. It's bike. A triathlon. Yep. So it's a swim, bike and run. And it's in September and it's going to be relatively challenging. And my goal is just start planning a little bit of 2 days a week, do a light run, 2 days a week, do a light bike, 1 day a week or every other day or every other week, do a swim. And just slowly get into the habit of doing those 3 exercises so that you can build up some tolerance. It doesn't have to be anything every single day. It can be every other day, every other 2 days. But just start getting in the habit of doing those exercises. Let's say you have a goal of, I don't know, doing 10,000 push-ups in a day, something insane, something only a mad person would do. Okay, well, let's build up to that, right? Let's do 100 in a day and figure out how that feels like. And then 3 days later, do 200. And 4 days later, right, do 300. And just slowly start building up. But yeah, man, scale into it. 100%. Scale into some big dreams. A lot of people might have trading dreams. You should.
So no, that's good. Now, do you separate your goals, I guess, into different categories?
Yes, absolutely. Phenomenal question. But yeah, for sure. Trading. That's huge for me because I'm a full-time trader. That's how I make my living. I love trading. So I'll have trading goals. I will have giving goals. I will have health goals. I'll have family goals, right? So time spent with family. I will have personal self-development goals. So things I'm doing just for me that no one else will really get benefit out of directly other than maybe being around me or whatever. But yeah, a lot of different goals you can break down, and you can color code them on a calendar if you want. You can, if you're a physical calendar, you can shade them with different colors so that you can kind of color code it, do whatever you want. But a big one is just the dreaming, right? So the vision boards, a lot of people think vision boards are dumb. I thought they were dumb for like 32 years of my life. And then I started doing them. And as I started doing them, I started seeing those opportunities come in and seeing the actual thing that I wanted present itself into my life. And it's the weirdest thing, the way it works.
That's funny. I have my vision board actually as my desktop on my computer because that's where I spend the majority of my time. So I can see it every single minute of my day.
What a monster. Great idea.
Yeah, it's very cool. So Jerremy, I got a question for you. Now, you're a profitable trader, consistently profitable. But do you remember and maybe have advice for people that came out of the prior year where they weren't profitable and then stepping into the new year? How do you kind of let go of all the stuff from last year and start anew?
It's a great question. So I had someone at my house 4 hours ago. She had a rough 2021. And she was telling me kind of like a little bit about what transpired and what happened. And it can make you feel pretty dumb if you don't have a profitable trading year, especially if the overall markets are up. You're like, what did I do all of this work for? I'm an idiot. I could just put my money into the overall market and left it alone and would have made money, but I put all this time, energy, and effort into it and lost money. I'm a moron. Number one, no, you're not. That's just called progress of any kind. Example, if you want to become a professional hockey player, you might have to miss out on some real estate deals because you were studying and practicing and getting better and doing your workouts for hockey, doing your drills. You might have to miss out on concerts where they gave away a special hat and you didn't get that hat. Now you're all upset, right? You might have to miss out on drink dates and all kinds of afternoon outings with friends. You're going to miss out on things. So if you missed out on money, congratulations. That is your least valuable asset that you just missed out on, the growth of your money. That is the smallest thing that you should be focused on because it doesn't take a lot of time to lose all of your reputation. So focus on what you didn't lose, right? Did you blow out your reputation? Did you lose your trust? Did you break off relationships? Did you do something truly moronic, or did you just lose out on making more money? If that's the case, good for you.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And actually, I mean, going back to the professional athlete and professional hockey player, I mean, even them, they don't win the Stanley Cup every year. So
sure they do.
You have losing seasons, right? So it doesn't make you less of a professional hockey player.
You have losing seasons, 100%. Like you're going to make it to the game and you're going to lose. Now, the big difference that a lot of people will say is, but the professional hockey players still get paid hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to play the game throughout the season. True, but they are also working harder than you, most likely, right? Because if you didn't trade profitably throughout the year, I'm not saying it wasn't because you didn't work hard enough, but generally it is because you didn't notice something quick enough. You got a bias and you didn't figure out that you should change that bias. You just kept one focus, right? You were playing one direction on that. To go back to the hockey analogy, you're skating one direction. You never even turned around, right? You were looking one direction the entire game.
Yeah, and if your only measure of success is monetary, then I can see how you can confuse that and lose sight of the bigger goal.
Yep,
so for sure.
So if you do have a bigger goal, no matter what it is, hockey, trading, doing a triathlon, Ironman, whatever the case is, and you kind of plan out the bigger picture. You have, obviously, that's the goal of what I want to do or accomplish. And then you break down your month, your week, your days. Unless you're Jerremy Newsome, so I don't know, this is probably the wrong person to ask a question to, but most people will have days where you wake up sluggish, tired, you don't have the energy, you're just not motivated that day. What keeps you, and again, probably not speaking for Jerremy Newsome because I've never seen a day where this guy shows up and phones it in, but for other normal people, if you were to assume their positions, what would be, how would you get over that one day? Because a lot of times that one day ends up snowballing into 2 days a week, a month, and then all of a sudden you're way behind your goal. How do you really kind of balance that and really get back on the horse?
First of all, man, I appreciate you saying that, dude, but you're so kind, dog. Everyone has those days. Definitely me. I 100% have days when I wake up at 4 a.m. and I do not want to get up and go outside in the snow to work out or to go on a run. Like that, what for sure happens, right? So the accountability approach, that is step one. Get some people in your corner who will call you out if you're feeling weak. So my wife, there was when I did the calendar club back in December, there was 3 or 4 days towards the end where I was like, this is just the stupidest thing ever. And it was like 6 o'clock at night and I had a lot of running to go. And she'd ask me like, hey, how you doing on your miles? And I would look at her and be like, I don't know, I got like 25 left. She'd go, well, guess you're not going to have dinner tonight, huh? And she just made it like she knew that she didn't let me sink back. So you have to, number one, have someone who can hold you accountable because you're always going to have those days. Number two, when you do have a day, right, take it. There's going to be times where you could get sick. It is okay to rest. It is. A lot of those like motivational videos and like the gurus and like the people who are like, Gah! Wake up at 4, go sleep at midnight, work your face off. Like those kind of people, that's cool. But dude, I need like a solid 9 hours of sleep. I do. I need the sleep. And if you really, really getting after it, sometimes you might have 12 hours of sleep. So start planning for that. Plan some days where you rest it up. I got 4 hours of sleep last night. So if you need 4 hours of sleep that night, cool, whatever. But keep in mind, man, everyone's going to have those days. So instead of letting them sneak up on you, plan them. Plan them. Create a day where you're like, all right, cool. Today's a day where I do nothing. One of the greatest CrossFit individuals on earth, his name is Matt, and he is out of Tennessee, and he's one of my best friends. I've only met him once. But when he finishes a competition, he has 2 days where he does jack squat. He sits on the couch, he watches Netflix, he drinks beer, he eats M&Ms, just rests. Doesn't do literally anything. He sleeps on the couch. Doesn't even walk to the bed to sleep with his wife. He just lays on the couch for 2 days. That's his thing. Cool, bro. So schedule the days. If you want to have a day where you're like, I need a day off, I need to relax him, cool. Put it on the calendar. So instead of going hard in the paint every single day in your life, book an easy day, a relaxing day, or 2.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I think I'm going to have to implement that because I don't. I'm one of those go to bed at midnight, get up at 4, rah, 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 rah.
I know you are. I know. I'm a little pansy. I'm not. I can't handle that for long periods of time. So I do. I have self-care days where I don't do anything. So like this coming up Saturday, I have 2 workouts, but like, nothing special. Just 2 random, like tiny little workouts. But that's all I'm going to do. 2 45-minute workouts for me is kind of like a rest day.
No,
Yeah. So,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, you are starting out a brand new system this year, and I know that. And I don't know how much, testing you have done with the actual system. I know that you've done some. I just don't know how much you've done at all. So by changing up your training style this year, you don't really have a lot of history to build that confidence. So how, because a lot of new traders are going to be in that same boat where they're starting out a brand new system because they just don't have the experience of a trader that we do. So how do you kind of come from that position and get through the year, especially if you start out the year with a few losses?
Yep. It'll occur. It'll happen. I mean, you can start out the year, you can start out the season, you can start out the month. When you are trading a particular strategy and you're going, okay, I'm going to focus on this strategy, and that particular strategy starts to lose, let's say consecutively. Let's say you go 0-4, or you have a few small wins and you lose 4 in a row. Number one, how much did you lose? Were they full losses or were they like smaller losses? That's a big difference, right? If you lost 4 full-on Godzilla throat punch losses, then you probably should go back and start tweaking something. And what am I doing wrong? Go analyze your losers. That is my funnest thing I do in trading, is analyzing my losers, finding out where I suck so I can suck less. And generally, it's the tiny, tiny tweaks. And I don't not suck for a long period of time. I just revert to sucking less on the things I sucked on more previously. So to give an example, let's say that I find out, wow, 4 trades, I had a super tight stop. All right, the next 4, my only focus is going to be have a wider stop. Cool. So for 4 days, I focus on having a wider stop. Now, I win small, lose small. Those 4 days, essentially, I break even. No real gain is made. Fantastic. Then I look at those 4 days and I go, okay, what 4 things what takeaway can I learn from these 4 days? Oh, wow, I wasn't aggressive enough. Go figure. So now let me have my wider stops. I'm still going to use those from the 4 days previously. And now I'm going to exit quicker and just take a faster gain if I'm up 0.3 Rs. And I'll do that for 4 days. And then I'll keep trying to just stack the things. And then 3 or 4 months later, I'll probably be back to oh, dang it, my stops are too tight again. And so you got to go back to that and try to fix that again. But as long as you can do the tweaks where you adjust and track down your losers, that is the best part of trading. It should be just the part that you look most forward to. Because if you can fix the losers, you will have amazing winners.
I can't agree with you more. I know that as a seasoned trader, that's a lot easier said than done. Mm-hmm. So, because the other thing that you did is you massively increased your R this year. So you're starting out a new system, you've increased your R, and now there's all that psychological stuff that could kind of weasel their way into it when you do start to lose, especially when you're losing with a bigger R. And I know as a newer trader, the instinct would be to cut your R back or to start fudging with things that you shouldn't be fudging with. So try and step back to when you were a newer trader. How did you overcome some of those psychological kind of barriers that step in front of you and try to sabotage you even further when you're trying to implement this new system?
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. You're talking right to me. It's hilarious that you mention that, because when you're talking about, increase in R or not, when you are trading and you're doing something either new or let's just say it's a new month. It doesn't have to be a new strategy. It could be a new month. It could be a new year, and you're just sucking eggs. Like you are falling on the dirt and turkeys are kicking you right in the ears every minute of the day. And you're like, why are these turkeys keep kicking me in the ear? This sucks. I would say instead of embracing the pain, try to just trade less and focus on winning somewhere else in life. Because humans want to win. And if you're trading like a drunken baboon, which I absolutely do every now and then, and it frustrates me, right? Because it's not even good alcohol. It's the bad, cheap, bottom shelf alcohol that I'm getting drunk off of, and I'm a baboon, right? So I have no manners. When that happens to me and I'm trading like that, and again, I think a lot of people can probably put themselves in that position, like you asked. If you're a new trader, what do? Scale back your trades. So don't change anything, right? Don't start fudging, because that's the number one instinct. Is you're like, oh, my system is dumb. No, your system probably works. The market, the trend, maybe something changed. Oh, all four of your losses were bullish trades. Maybe you should have been looking for bearish. Was there a reason? Was there an example? Was there a setup? Was there a trend change? Okay. So you've analyzed your losers. You don't make any changes, and you still lose 2 or 3 times after that. Now the panic sets in, right? Now you're 0-6 or 2-6, right? You're stinking up the place. You're a 16-year-old kid with no deodorant. What you need to do is trade less and then go win at something else in life. Go accomplish something. And I used to do it all the time. Yeah, when I would have a bad day, week, whatever, month, I'd go, okay, this sucks. Let me go close a real estate deal if you're an agent. Let me go pour into my wife and write her a sonnet from my heart. right? Let me finish that book that I've been putting off. Let me go do 1,000 push-ups in a day. Pick something that is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but you can go win at. And that will help you because you love to win. People love to win, and it'll make you feel better. And when you feel better, you feel confident, that next trade will be likely a winner, or at least you'll lose very, very small. And that'll feel like a win, especially after 6 or 7 just donkey punches to the face. Yeah.
What about for you? Because I know at the end of the year or even the end of the month, if you're keeping appropriate journals, which everybody should, in regards to their trades, and you're like, okay, well, these strategies were dynamite, high success win ratios, and then you're looking at some of the strategies that might have not been so good or you just haven't had real success with. When you're looking at the journal, you could either scrape them and just be like, okay, I'm not going to trade those anymore, or maybe there's something you could improve on in those type trades. How do you know when to trash or recycle certain strategies?
That's an awesome question, man. So when do you know how to recycle? Really throw it down the tube. If you think it's your strategy, the only thing I could possibly suggest is reach out to someone who is proficient, somebody you might admire. It does not have to be me. It can be literally anyone. It can be someone else outside of real life trading. It doesn't have to be inside of real life trading. Go ask anyone. Find someone and say, hey man, hey lady, will you review my strategy and see if it's just bogus? And they'll let you know, right? And maybe it is. Did you make it on your own? Did you create it by yourself? Right? Did you spend some time? Because Tracy, that's a question she asked earlier. How much time did you spend backtracking this? About 100 hours, right? So not like an extremely insane amount, but 100 manual hours, about 2 hours a day for 50 days approximately. And that's not a lot, all right? Really, at the end of the day. But I know moving averages, I know candles, I know timing. So I know it'll work over long in a time period. But at the same back instance, when you're asking Dan, like, when should you throw it in? Man, you're not going to like this answer, but guys, like 3 months in a row of constant losses, like where you're losing every month, and you can go back through your journal and not go, yeah, this was kind of my fault though. Yeah, it didn't really close below the average, but I took the trade anyway. If you can do that honestly, a month or two, then yeah, your system sucks. Or go ask a professional. Ask me. I'll help you. Let's review it really quick. It won't take me very long to find out. And 99% of the time, man, 99% of the time, it's just a trader error. I'll go through and go, well, dude, you didn't follow your rules. You didn't follow your rules on this one. You should have never taken that trade at all. And then after you took that trade, you doubled down on that one, which you broke a rule on. Normally, when people say that their system doesn't work, they end up eating a raw onion because they broke the rules and their system would have worked fine. That's what usually happens.
Yeah, no, for sure. So starting out brand new, somebody's never traded before, they're going to start this year. What would you give as your most valuable advice? They've never traded before. They've traded, they just haven't traded real money. So they're starting January 2022 with real money for the first time ever.
Love it. Give yourself a lot of time. I mean, that's it. Give yourself time. You have this natural tendency, and it's not greed. It is optimism. It is zealousness. It is joy and prosperity, but it's not greed. I know you want to make a lot of money quickly. It is a natural human instinct. Humans need more resources to live. And if given all the resources, humans will take all of them. It's a natural instinct. So you're fighting DNA. You're fighting thousands and thousands of years of embedded DNA if you're trying to go, oh, I don't want more money right now. So when you're trading real money, your brain and your consciousness and everything internally says, make $1 million by Thursday or you're a moron. And you're going to have all of your friends and all of your family kind of like, at the dinner table, like, hey, bro, how come you haven't made $1 million yet? They're going to say the same thing. And generally, if I ever get asked that, Oftentimes it's by a friend of mine who's in a semi-pro bowling league, and I get to ask them, well, hey, dog, how come you haven't made hundreds of thousands of dollars bowling? Oh, it's the same answer, dude. It takes time. It takes a lot of time and a lot of practice. I'm not good enough yet. But I know the possibilities of making millions in the market exist. I've done the math, and it might take me 7 years. But guess what's going to happen in 7 years? I will do it, and you'll be asking me the question on, hey, man, can I borrow some money for a house? Get it, right? Get that. Have that goal where you can say, I told you so. Like, it's a good goal to have, right? It is a good goal to have. And it's going to take 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. No, that's awesome.
So basically what you're saying is don't quit.
Don't give yourself some time, guys. Yeah. Don't make it a next week, a next month type of thing. Put in your brain, it's going to take 4 years. Do not stop in that 4 years. This takes 4 years to get good. Takes 6 years to make really good money. 4 years to get good, 6 years to make legit money. So if you're like, oh, I'll do it in 2, no, you won't. I will take all of your money, and I'm not going to feel bad about it because you did not have a good time frame.
Yeah, and I think expectation is one of the, I think you hit the nail right on the head, is one of the biggest reasons people don't succeed.
100%.
Not because of strategy, not because of candles, not because of illiteracy in the charts, not because of education. It's just the expectation.
Yep.
And I think taking that time frame of what you just said and actually writing that down on the vision board and just understanding like maybe this year is not the year that I make that $1 million, but having that 6 year time frame or 4 to 6 years will give a stronger result in regards to keeping you in the game.
Yep, totally.
Now, Jerremy, if you were to only read 12 books this year, and I know that's probably how many you read in a day, but if you were to only read 12 books this year and you had to limit yourself to 1 book a month, what would be the first book you read this year?
Dang. The very, very first book. Okay. I would read Essentialism. Fantastic book, great author, great message.
Decentralism. Who's the author?
Essentialism.
Oh, Essentialism.
Like what's essential? I think it's Daniel Pinkert book. I don't remember off the top of my head. I know it's in my Audible. Let me see if I can Google it really quick.
It's all good. I thought you said decentralism. So
yeah. Essentialism. Yeah.
Essentialism. Yes.
Greg
absolutely.
McCowan. My boy Greg McCowan. Not Daniel Pinker. That's someone else. Greg McCowan. Yep.
Perfect. Essentialism. I'm going to add to my list.
Okay.
I've already been reading a whole bunch of books this year, but I'm going to add
You've
that one
already read
to
12. Yeah, you're going to read 240 books this year. I know you will.
I'm going to read a lot this year. It's on my bucket list for sure. That one's being added to my list. Actually, it's already on my list. It's going to be moved down to my list.
Tracy, quick question for you. How have the books helped you? I'm just going to say financially, literally monetarily. Are you in a better space now than you were 2 years ago when you started reading the books as vivaciously as you started?
A million times.
Really?
There's absolutely no question. But, it goes to even to the part where you were talking about go and do something where you can succeed at, right? That whole, when you achieve goals, when you succeed, it changes your mindset and your whole approach on how you perceive the rest of life. And that very change is maybe the only thing that needs to happen for you to start attracting success.
I love that.
So it may not be the books per se that, like, actual content from the books that have turned around and made me successful. It's just the very act of committing to reading books that are improving who I am and heading on that path, right? That's
takeaway from the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. It is often not the thing that you're doing. It is the fact that your brain knows that you fucking did it. And then your brain's like, oh, shoot, she wasn't playing around. She wants to get these gains. And you did it? Oh, yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Absolutely. And you know what? My last year has been focusing on neuroplasticity, which is, rewiring those brain connections and doing all that type of thing. And I tell you, it's it's the key.
What a beast.
It really is.
And
Yeah,
I will agree.
absolutely.
I know we're going to go a little like 80 seconds long, but if you're listening to this, she is serious team, right? Tracy Ball is a mental maniac, an absolute flamethrower for the frontal cortex. She will outlearn and out-earn anyone that I could put her in a ring with, and it's amazing just to see how far she has grown because she has put in a lot of time and a lot of energy that other people won't. So shout outs to you, Tracy. I'm super impressed. I really am. I would agree 1,000,000%. I think that's absolutely right on.
Well, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy. It's, you know what? I'm going to say that this has a lot to do with being in a community like Real Life Trading. That's made all of the difference. Having people around you that support you and that you can communicate with, and they're rowing the same boat. They may not be in the same boat with you, but they're still rowing in the same direction. So you look to your right, you look to your left, and there's always somebody there that's heading in the same direction as you. And I think that makes a huge difference. Where prior to Real Life Trading, I mean, I could look around my boat and I see a lot of people hanging onto the anchor. So it's just one of those things you want to just shed. Cut that anchor and let it sail.
Thanks for rowing the boat, Stan. Thanks for rowing
Exactly.
the boats, dude. Appreciate you, bro. Love you.
All right, Dan.
That's it. We're out of time. We got to extend it.
Yeah, we're out of time.
We need to switch to a 45-minute format. But appreciate all you guys for tuning in once again to the Real Life Trading Pivot Podcast. Tracy, always a pleasure hosting with you. Jeremy, thanks for popping in, giving and sharing that wisdom as always. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Don't forget to click those links below, catch up on all the previous episodes, and check out reallifetrading.com for all of the incredible free content and education into the markets.